So there's an awful lot that the cooperative does that probably a lot of people don't know about. Our framing specs, part of what goes into the way we frame poles and other equipment is with birds in mind, to keep like the spacing between conductors, and grounded equipment enough that it makes it difficult for birds to get hurt. And also, whenever we frame, say we put up transformers or other equipment, we always install avian protection on that stuff to help mitigate the problems with birds. So really, from the very beginning, when we're framing a job, that goes into how we do things. And then on the job, like when I have an outage or whatever, well, I'll try to, if there's anything I can do to put up avian protection or something to make it safer, then we do it at that time too, retrofit old stuff. So the most common thing is with large birds, getting onto transformers or other equipment and blowing a fuse. The other thing that's a big issue in the springtime is birds building nests on our equipment, and that can cause all kinds of problems also. So most of the time they'll build a nest on top of transformers, sometimes on top of where we have double arms, two arms that are side by side. It makes a good platform for them to build a nest on. So usually they'll build a nest and in the spring, and when it's dry, the majority of the time it doesn't cause any real problem because it's dry wood that's fairly insulated. But when the monsoons come and that nest gets wet, then obviously it's more conductive. And so the electricity will start tracking through that nest and heating the nest material up, and it can catch fire and then start the pole on fire, drop pieces of nest that are on fire to the ground, start a grass fire, that kind of thing. During nesting in the spring, I stay really busy with birds building nests on our equipment. Mostly ravens, crows, hawks, and owls. If I can remove the nest before they lay eggs, then I will. And if it's on some kind of equipment where I can put deterrent up, that they'll make it harder for them to come back and rebuild the nest, then I'll do that. So I try to stay ahead of them as much as I can. We might have a nest on top of a transformer bank that has baby birds in it. So I'll evaluate that. Sometimes I might be able to make that nest pretty safe where I feel like they're gonna be okay where they're at. And like I might trim the nest up so that there's sticks not touching anything that is gonna really cause a problem. Add extra insulation to jumpers and things like that, and leave that nest, and then I'll monitor it. And then when the babies grow up and leave, then I can take the nest down. Sometimes they'll build a nest on equipment where it's just too dangerous to leave it no matter what. That there's just a high chance that they're gonna cause a big outage, and most likely they're gonna kill themselves also. And so that we might have to, say, relocate that nest, which we'll set up a nesting platform on another pole. Sometimes we'll set a whole nother pole close by, put a nesting platform on it, and then move their nest to that other location for them. If I can find a better way to leave it and not have to do that, I do. But sometimes there's no choice just because of the risk of serious outage and maybe fire or something is too high. We have a form on our Survey 123 where if I do something with a nest, remove it, leave it, whatever, I fill out this form. It's online, and then it'll go to the appropriate people. Our person who deals with fish and wildlife on the bird issues gets that, so she knows what's going on. If say I have a nest that I'm leaving and monitoring until the chicks leave, that'll be in there. When we have outages from a bird blowing a fuse on a transformer, most of the time it's because it's an older transformer that didn't get the new avian protection on it. So when we fix it, I'll go up and retrofit it with the new avian protection, so it's a lot safer. On the road, driving around our system, doing my work, I'm always having an eye out for poles and equipment and stuff that needs avian protection. I think there's a lot of positive impacts about what we do with our avian program, that our community, they don't see what we're doing. But it positively impacts them because we're keeping their power a lot more reliable. If we protect birds, in the same time we're cutting down on outages I've helped get 2 bears off of poles. I've got some raccoons down from poles, a bobcat one time that was being very difficult. Lots of birds, relocated nests with baby birds or eggs in it to safer place. There was a time when Game and Fish Warden called me because he had a bird tangled up in baling twine up on a windmill. So I went with my bucket truck and went up there and got the hawk untangled from the baling twine off of that windmill for him. One time we got a call that there was a bear up on a pole. He was in a real bad spot, real close to the energized primary. It was 7,200 volts. And I went up in the bucket with an 8-foot fiberglass stick and just kind of poked at the bear, trying to get it to climb down on its own, and it was not real cooperative at first, but it decided to go ahead and climb down the pole on its own and ran off. That bear was unharmed, but he was definitely in a bad position where he could have got killed pretty easy. We care about the public, we care about the environment. It's part of our mission to care about the environment. So protecting wildlife and birds is just part of our ethical responsibilities, and it also makes our system more reliable. If we can protect the birds, then we have less outages. Something that gives me a lot of satisfaction is if I have a nest that I've been monitoring and trying to keep safe all through the nesting season, and then when I see the chicks grow up, and I keep going back and checking on that nest, so I kind of see them growing up, and then when they become adults and leave the nest and fly away, and I'm able to get that nest out of there and they grew up safely, that feels pretty good.